Okay, we're now in 2-1C, ordered pairs, and I'm going to start off with number 9. It says express the relation as a table and a graph, then state the domain. And I'm not going to do the graph because I believe most of you know how to graph coordinate points. If not, I'll show you in class. Well, maybe I'll give you an example here. But the 4 points that they gave you are 3, -4. That was the first point. Then 2, 0, -4, -1, and 0, -3 was the last one. So they gave you 4 points, and I'm going to do what I said I wasn't going to do, which is show you them on a graph. Let's say that we're counting by ones, so each one of these little slash marks represents 1 unit. This would be 5, 5, -5, and -5. So if we wanted to do 3, -4, you can't really see those, can you? This is a -5, and this is -5. Okay, so 3, -4 would be 1 to +3 and down to -4. So that would be 3, -4. 2, 0 would be 2 and stop right there for 0. -4, -1 would be over to -4 and down to -1. And I know you probably can't see the numbers, but at least you can tell which direction I'm going in. 0, -3 would be 0 means you don't move left, you don't move right. -3 means you go down 3. So in an ordered pair, you have 2 numbers, an X and a Y. The X tells you to move left or right, and the Y tells you to move up or down. Always. First number tells you left or right, second number tells you up or down. That never changes. Okay? The other thing they wanted you to do was to write it in the table. So like I was saying, they gave you the table with X's and Y's. And they said these are the X's, these are the Y's. And they wanted you to write these points in the table. So the first number is the X. So like for this point, the X would be 3, the Y would be -4. For this point, the X is 2, the Y would be 0. For this point, the X would be -4, the Y would be -1. For this point, the X would be 0, the Y would be -3. Just that simple. And they ask you to write the domain and range. I'm going to give you a quick definition for domain and range. Quick one. Domain are your X values. Range, take a wild guess, your Y values. So the domain is your X values, the range is your Y values. Okay, it's just that simple. And I hope I've been picking up volume all this time because I didn't check it. But anyway, domain is X values and the range is Y values. So the domain for number 9, let's call it D. The domain would be, put it in brackets, it would be 3. Well, let's start from the smallest number. -4, 0, 2, and 3. Those are all the X values in order from least to greatest. And the range would be -4, -3, -1, and 0. -4, -3, -1, and 0. Sorry for the sloppiness, but I think you get the point. These are the ranges. This is the domain. This is the range. So just put it in order from least to greatest to get the domain and the range. Okay? Let's look at number 10. says Alton pays $48 per month for satellite television service. Make a table of ordered pairs in which the x-coordinate represents the number of months and the y-coordinate represents the total cost for 1, 2, 3, or 4 months. So in other words, and then it says graph the ordered pairs. So the table looks like this. This is number 10. And they said the x-coordinate represents the number of months. So the x's are months and the y's are total costs. So if you had to pay for 1 month of cable or satellite television, you'd pay $48. If you had to pay for 2 months, 48 times 2, I have no idea, but it's $48 a month. So you know it's 48 times 2 months. $96. 3 months, $144. 4 months, $192. So you're done with the table, and then you just graph them. These are your points: 148, 296, 3, 144, and 4, 192. Those are the 4 points that you would graph. Now, if it was me, seeing as how your y values are very big, what number would you count by? I would count by 48ths, because when I'm making my graph on this side, on the x-axis, I would count by ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But on the y-axis, I would count by 48ths, because these numbers are multiples of 48. So it'd be 48, 96, 144, 192. Because remember, you can count by anything you want. So I would count by 48ths, but it's up to you. Just remember that you have to get very big numbers in there in order to graph those points.